soul. All right now, oh, and the way that the feel right now. Oh, Lord, it may go.
Ever since the age of like 12 or 13, it's what I've wanted to do, and it's what we all have that in common. That we've burnt all our bridges as far as other jobs. I mean, if I wanted to be rich, I'd have turned into a banker.
Run your fingers through my soul. All right now, oh, and the way that I feel right now. Oh, Lord, let go.
I was unemployed before I was doing this. I had no means of money. You know, I was. So now I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do. I'm not complaining about it at all, because, I mean, there are times, yeah, when you want to have time to yourself and you want to be on your own. But I asked for it.
You know you cannot hide, yeah, from what's inside. So I ask of you, I'm in flow. I ask of you, spend that.
And I do feel that for the situation we're in Great Britain anyway, I think it's more of a brave and more of a revolutionary thing to do what we do than to try and be very original. Because if you actually look at what originality actually is, I mean, what did Picasso said, there is no such thing as originality, and that comes from the most original artist this century. You know, you can't, originality, you are always working with a cliche. You are always working with that. If you can twist that cliche a little to make your own opinion heard and to change the boring, mundane repetitiveness of life a little bit and yet still communicate to enough people, then that is the ultimate achievement, I think, in art. It's not just to be original, because, I mean, I could be original. Everything is already original. Before you try, I mean, you don't have to try and be different, do you? You're already different. That's why Britpop existed in the first place, is to get that confidence in British music back together again. And even though I hate to see it, there was like a lot of British bands wearing Union Jacks and stuff, do you know what I'm saying, with our flag, and trying to get a bit of pride back into the English music scene. I mean, because let's face it, I mean, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, the Who, Pink Floyd, how many good British bands have there been, yeah? And for like 10 years there was fuck all, there was nothing.
Put your hands on, put your hands on.
The world was just waiting for a band like Oasis to come along, and they came along, do you understand me? It's like people in our country wanted that to happen again, because the corporations and the companies that have been making music so boring for so long weren't allowing these bands, or the bands that existed in reality, to come through. And when they got to such a point that there was such a huge vacuum in the market for it, they were just there for it, weren't they? They just cleaned up because of that. There was such a huge desire for a good rock and roll band in our country. I mean, unfortunately they got Oasis, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they get something a bit more close to the truth.
Won't you give pictures of you? We'll go out and lounge by the pool. Yeah. After the sun has baked us through, we'll retreat to the bedroom. Yeah. Oh, I want the left bed. Yeah. Oh, I want the left bed. Yeah. Oh, I want the left bed. If I on lecture. Yeah. Oh, I want the left to baby. Yeah. Oh, I want the left to baby. Yeah. Oh, I want the left to woman. If I on lecture. All right now. When we are where we should be, there'll be no questions